I've always been a firm believer that it's never too late to try something new. So, what about badminton in your 30s? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lena, 32 years old, and trying my best to live out my athlete dreams because my parents never put me in sports as a kid. But now that I have adult money, I'll do it myself. Now, if your idea of badminton is just a cute little picnic game or something you did in PE in school, you would not be more wrong. Badminton is the world's fastest racket sport.
Brilliant. Oh! Don't believe it!
And to play this sport to the fullest requires an immense amount of athleticism and skill.
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. I don't believe it!
Do I have either of those? Not really. But it's still a lot of fun to play. Anyway, let's backtrack a little bit for some context. I actually became interested in badminton back in 2019. I played very casually at the gym I was going to at the time. And this is also when I started watching more professional matches and tournaments. However, 2020 happened, and as we all know, the world went into lockdown. So I ended up building my own home gym, and at that point, I pretty much put all my effort into Olympic weightlifting, which I still do, by the way. I have a video on that already, actually. Fast forward to Christmas of 2024. A family member gifted me a 1-year membership to the local badminton club. And I also got my very first nice racket as a gift too. It is the NanoFlare, or the Yonex NanoFlare 700 Pro. I have it right here. Very nice. To be honest, I didn't explicitly choose this one, but at the time I didn't have like a racket preference quite yet, so the guy at the shop just recommended this one to me, so I was like, alright, I just kind of trusted his choice. I do have a little bit more of a preference now though, so I think my next one I'm gonna go for like an Arc Saber series racket. So even though I had a brief moment with badminton in 2019, in my mind, this year is the year that I actually started playing badminton. And what I mean by that is this is the first time I've ever played in a real badminton hall. Now, I need to preface, I am not that good, okay? I am still like beginner to slight intermediate, I would say. My fundamentals are shit because I've never like properly learned how to play. I've never been coached or anything like that. So just don't expect much going into the rest of this video, okay? I only play once a week because it is very expensive to play badminton here. I don't know how it works where you're from, but the membership only grants you access to the club, but you still have to pay every time you reserve a court. Naturally, that will add up quite a lot. So me and my buddy, we usually just play singles together, or sometimes we'll join the Vietnamese uncles that play there for doubles. By the way, those guys are savages, okay? Do not underestimate middle-aged Asian men playing badminton. You will regret it. We were actually originally thinking of joining a local tournament, which is completely delulu now that I think about it. But we decided to play in the mixers instead to just see, like, you know, what's the current skill level like of players in the area. Because I've never actually played with real badminton players before. So I wasn't about to just enter a tournament and just walk right into an ass whooping, because that is exactly what would have happened. So if you don't know what a mixer is, they are a bit more of a social event where you're placed into groups based on skill level. And then you just play games within that group. So going into this mixer, I was very nervous. Okay. Something you may not know about me is I have social anxiety and performance anxiety. So put me in this over-simulating situation And I was scared. I was scared, okay? Me and my buddy were put into different groups, so I was also all by myself, and I was grouped up with what was it? Four other dudes. So being the only girl there also just added to my anxiety because now I just feel like okay, I'm definitely gonna be the weak link of this group. And honestly, there wasn't like a ton of time to socialize because you only have an hour and a half to play all of the scheduled games. So in between games, I would just ask them, simple questions like how long have you been playing badminton? If they usually play at this club, just simple stuff like that, right? And I would say there was only like a couple guys who actually were willing to engage in conversation with me, and some of the others, they didn't really say much at all. But ultimately, we're just here to play badminton, so I get it. I definitely felt like there was a lot of tension on the court. Like, it wasn't as fun and lighthearted as I was hoping. And this is just my perspective, by the way. Right? I don't know how the guys were feeling. I'm sure they're whatever about it. But usually I feel like when guys play together, they're always a lot more competitive with one another. So me being the only girl there, I definitely felt that. So this tension just really affected my gameplay because I would constantly be worrying about making mistakes or not going where I should be, and honestly it just made me it made me make mistakes even more because I couldn't feel comfortable enough to just play. I was just very, very worried about not looking good to them, which, ultimately just made it even worse and just added to the overall pressure I felt. And I ended up losing every game. I'll be honest, I lost every game. And I feel so bad for anybody who had to be my partner because in the back of my mind, I just knew like, oh my god, I'm gonna let them down. I'm gonna let them down. I'm gonna let them down, and I'm so sorry. Anyway, I will add in some of the game highlights here so you guys can watch those if you're interested. So when I was watching these game clips back, I noticed that the skill gap wasn't as large as it felt in the moment. Everyone all had moments of unforced errors, and footwork and just moving around the court more efficiently seemed to be everyone's weakness. I would say a lot of the shots that I missed watching back were just missed swings. And also playing with a bunch of dudes, they pretty much just all want to smash all the time. You will notice that a lot watching guys play. They love to smash, and I get that. So I don't have like the strongest defense for smashes quite yet. I haven't really developed that skill. So, in that regard, it was very difficult for me to play in that setting because everybody just wanted to smash. So, leaving my first mixer, I was really upset, I'll be honest. I felt really down for the rest of the night. But after some time and reflection, I think I was much harder on myself than I should have been. Even just doing this event at all is a really big deal for me. It was like the ultimate final boss social situation that I was up against. So I walked away from it a survivor, I suppose. 1 week later, I decided to return. But this time, I had a different plan. I reserved an extra hour before the mixer to just play with my usual partner. I also don't usually play around this time in the evening. I usually play in like the earlier afternoons. So that's why I also wanted to come during this time to just get used to the business of the club. Literally every court in the club was occupied. And then we actually also ended up playing a randoms double game with some other dudes who were sharing a court next to us. This was before the mixer, by the way. They were just playing. And we lost, by the way. But it was still nice, and they were pretty chill. So now it was time for the mixer to begin. But this is where I decided to do something different. I did not actually sign up for the mixer this time. I just stayed to watch everyone else play instead. And I did this because for me, the more exposure that I have to something, the more I will feel comfortable in that environment. So even though I didn't play, simply being in the space allowed me to become a bit more comfortable. And a nice thing that happened was a couple of the guys from my group the week before came up and said hi to me. And I can't tell you how much that meant to me. I was really happy that they came up and said hi. Cause they could have completely ignored me. But the fact that they took some time to come up and say hi to me made a really big difference. They even asked when I was gonna upload this video. So if you guys are watching, thank you for playing with me and putting up with my shitty skills. Oh, and another thing that I got to do was watch some more of the advanced players play. Like, it's one thing watching people play on a screen, right? But it's really something else getting to watch it in person. It was just really cool to see like some higher level skills. Overall, I am really happy getting to play badminton. I know that I'll never reach, a super high level of play given my age and my natural athletic ability, but I think it's important to just try and improve little by little each day. I think for me, my goal is just being able to, at the very least, get solid at all of the basics. Like, I'm not trying to do any fancy tricks or anything. I just want to be able to move around the court more efficiently and be able to return most shots. Like, that's it. If I can do that, I'll be happy. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below if you play badminton or if it's something that you'd like to try. Also, let me know if you guys want to see more badminton content. I won't be able to like give any advice on how to play better, but I can, at least share my experience with it and what it's like playing. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see some more fitness content, you guys can check out this playlist here next. And with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video.